We won 4 European leagues so far in the Ultimate Glory Hunter Challenge. The latest addition is a League of Montenegro with Budućnost Podgorica, adding a Conference League knockout playoff to that stint. But now, we're moving on to some stronger leagues. The question is, what club is next? The team I've hidden under the offer you can see right now is a team from Poland. We're talking about Ruch Chorzów, whose manager, Jindřich Trpisovski, guided them back to the Ekstraklasa and won a Polish Cup in the process. In early April 2032, just as we were winning the Montenegrin League, the Czech man moved to Lech Poznań, freeing up the managerial position in Silesia. I instantly applied, went for an interview, and got that offer. However, Ruch was still not sure of ensuring survival, so I decided to delay the move. And at the time, I also applied for the job in Partizan Belgrade, who are one of the two giants of Serbia. But they weren't responding, and I decided not to wait anymore. It's time to rebuild one of the most historic teams from Poland, extremely tied to the Silesian traditions. But before our arrival, I quickly got to winning the 2 final games in the Montenegrin League, confirming our league title with Budućnost Podgorica with 80 points in the bag. And this bag we packed and moved to Chorzow in Silesia, Poland. Okay, but why did I still get an interview offer from Partizan Belgrade? And the media seem not to understand I've already accepted the offer. Anyways, leaving that, we're finally managing in Poland. And we're doing it with one of the most historic clubs, which won the Polish Championship 14 different times. Just ignore the fact the last one was in 1989 and the club wasn't even close to repeating this feat in this save so far. What are the other circumstances we dived into? We've been blessed with nearly 3 million euros to spend on the transfers. Seems to be quite a lot. As long as you don't notice the minus 20k per week in the wage budget, which basically halves our funds. Not for long, because we suddenly got a bunch of cash to splash just a week after joining. The squad itself has a couple of talented players, like Tomasz Malec, Marcin Cięciała, Daniel Gargasz, or a subscribe button. However, we also have players that I think earn a bit too much for the club's standards. We'll try offloading our team before we bring anyone in. The staff is also lacking, so in 3, 2, 1, sorted. I must admit, I was very tempted to sign this man. In case you're wondering, Piotr Rutkowski is the owner of Lech Poznań in real life. And my question is, why is he trying to apply to be a scout somewhere else? I mean, go back to managing your own team. I signed a scout from South Africa instead. Then comes the tactic, which is going to be this 4-2-2 thing. The goal is to send the ball to the quick and creative front 4. However, we're lacking a player in defensive midfield. Konrad Kasperczyk is decent in this position, but I don't think he's good enough to be a starter. We want to sign someone great, but first, we have to free up some money. We're saying goodbye to these 5 people, who are all running out of contracts. More departures include Muhammad Sahinovic going to Olympic Lyon, though for just 46k, David Schott to Al Wakrach in Qatar for 1.5 million, Suleiman Sisej to our former boys in Podgorica for 525k, Nemanja Trifunovic to Dijon in Ligue 2 for 350k, Juan Pablo Aristizabal, our highest earner, to Al Shabab in Saudi Arabia for 1.5 million, and Luan Silva to Podbrezova in Slovakia for 130k, which made the squad unhappy. With all these sales, our new budget is huge. It's over 8 million, and into the Śląski Stadium, welcome Filip Rejczyk. He has not lived up to his talent in this save, with his peak being at Zbrojovka Brno and Polonia Warszawa, both fighting for survival in their country's top tiers. He still has decent skills, and maybe we'll get him to his full potential. The problem is, he's the only signing of the window so far, and the debut match against Korona Kielce is coming up. And what is this abomination of the Silesian Stadium? It looks nowhere near like this. And we will not win the 15th league title if we start our season with this. We had a multitude of chances, but they weren't of the best quality. Korona though only needed a long shot and Cięciała's inexperience in goal to win. There's a lot of potential in this side though, and after this game we made it even stronger, filling the left wing slot. The new man is Nikola Medojevich, who we already had in Budućnost Podgorica. Adding on this transfer, I was hopeful as ever when I started managing this club. But in the first 7 matches, we only won once, against our friends in Widzew Łódź. And all we did was just bottling, with a 93rd minute goal for Raków, or a 91st minute equalizer for GKS Tychy, and getting stupid red cards, against Śląsk Wrocław or Chrobry Głogów. So when I looked up the table and saw Ruch Chorzów in the relegation zone, the decision was very simple. I am breaking the bank. First move was a Czech deep playing playmaker, Vlastimir Toncar from Opava, Build a Nation series in the top right. He will replace Konrad Kasperczyk, who didn't like me for blocking a move to Pogoń Szczecin and needed team leaders to intervene. In the end, Konrad went to Leganes. Other deadline day signings include Tomasz Sokol, an attacking midfielder from Żylina for 675k, Mateusz Izmajłowicz from GKS Tychy for 2.5 million, and Rafał Gajda from Legia Warsaw for 300k. The last one replaces Jakub Kubów, who went to Widzew Łódź. I now think we have a squad that could put us way higher than the 9th place we have in the season preview, despite our slow start. But the real test was just upon us. Actually, 3 of them. The first one is a derby, the major Silesian derby against Górnik Zabrze. And the hosts, also the 14-time Polish champions, had a perfect start. Of course, they had an early penalty and scored it. Losing from the very get-go wasn't handy, but it's not like we didn't have any chances. In fact, we had a decent amount of them, but whenever they appeared, we squandered them. You get the point. We lost the derby, and ahead of the game against Lech Poznań, it wasn't looking good. Unlike the amount of opportunities, we had to score, which we didn't, but at least we are creating them, so there's progress. But now, guess how we lost this game? You guessed it! Penalty! And a late goal from a young defensive midfielder Rafał Smektała. We're still looking for a breakthrough. And it wouldn't help that our next opponent was Legia Warsaw, last season's champions. Nikola Medojewicz was injured for 4 or 5 games prior to this encounter. Nevertheless, within 4 minutes into his return, he instantly scored a goal that gave us the lead. However, this only felt like a momentary wave of enthusiasm, because Johnny Bolivar quickly equalized for Legia. But then, Daniel Malec scored from a corner, and Szymon Włodarczyk was caught offside when trying to steal our win. Hope for a victory was real. And when Mateusz Izmajłowicz finished this game with a third goal, it all became clear. It took 4 losses in a row, dropping to a relegation zone, conceding stupid penalties and last season's champions having a crisis. But we finally won the second game of the season, and it was against the biggest team in the country. This victory helped us catch the momentum. We started winning plenty of matches. Our record after the Legia game was 4 wins and 3 losses. Of course, one of them was against Cracovia after a stupid penalty. Our matches did not involve plenty of scoring, but what mattered was that we finally started winning. The main heroes are Nikola Medojewicz and Mateusz Izmajłowicz, who are scoring crucial goals. The latter one is in contention for a top scorer award. This good form was enough to lift us up to 14th. But at least, we're very far from the relegation zone, and ahead of the reverse fixtures, we are only 11 points behind a European slot. Lech Poznań and Górnik Zabrze are running away with the title race. Yes, Górnik Zabrze, our biggest rivals, and the team that is stuck in the lower half since this save has started, and just avoided relegation twice in the last 3 years. And also, our rivals in the Polish Cup's third round, before which we got past Śląsk Wrocław's reserves, and got a comeback win against second tier's Olimpia Grudziądz. Which can go now outside of the area. Long ball sent to Gajda. Gajda passes to Izmajłowicz. Albors finds some space. 1v1! It's in! It's in the derby. Can we win this finally? And we're getting a successful revenge on Górnik. For the league loss, we won the derby in the cup. After winning this cup encounter, we won against Raków. But of course, lost to Korona Kielce after a stupid red card, followed by a 90th minute bottle. This bottle puts us on 15th ahead of the winter break, and when I calculated the results from the last 10 games before the break, turns out our points average would give us a place in Europe. The board thinks we're underperforming though, and rightly so, since we were placed on 6th in the preview. We had to make a couple of outings to unload the squad. The first one was Serkan Kırkmaz to Albacete for 650k. He started the season by wasting obvious chances, was sent to the bench, and made the squad revolt against me for his lack of playing time. At least he won't be a problem anymore. A backup left back, Alvaro Martelli, left us for Djurgården in Sweden. His countryman, Christian Ceballos, went for a loan to Aris Limassol, just like Bartosz Kowalik, who went to Royal Charleroi. Kasper Przybyłko was running out of contract, so we let him go to Zagłębie Lubin for 125k, and Kamil Wiśniewski landed on a loan at Chrobry Głogów. The arrivals, a free agent from Colombia, Jan Mena, a loan of Jiriku Iwalainen from Sparta Prague, as well as Mirosław Jamroszczyk from Legia Warsaw at left back, and Rafał Smektała from Lech Poznań for 300,000. Some may argue our squad has gotten slightly weaker, but I say it's even better. We started the spring with a clean slate. 6 wins in a row lifted us up all the way to 9th. Well, almost a clean slate. Despite having a lead against Jagiellonia in the Polish Cup. We first had Płowucha missing a penalty, then we lost an equalizer. Płowucha redeemed himself late on, just to lose a goal in the 93rd minute. And in the penalty shootout, Płowucha missed again. Izmaiłowicz also missed, knocking us out of the Polish Cup in the quarters. However, we still have a chance in the league. A chance to qualify for European football, or maybe even win the league in the first season, from 15th before the winter break. The next step to make sure we actually join at least the European race is to win a derby. This time in our home, against Górnik Zabrze, in front of 52,000 people. And in the Śląski Stadium, the momentum was quite different compared to the last encounter in Zabrze. It took only 20 minutes for Fermin Albors to score after a defensive error. Just 7 minutes later, Albors assisted Medojevich, doubling our lead. Górnik players have scored, but other than that, we had a major advantage. One of our goals was disallowed, but when nearing the stoppage time, Mateusz Izmaiłowicz confirmed our derby win with a third goal. We're staying on the way up. Lech is leading the Ekstraklasa right now, and look forward to getting that title back after a disappointing 6th place, which happened after 5 straight titles, by the way. The Railway men had an early advantage, but the later it was, the more of a momentum we've got. But it was to no fruition until late in the game, when we thought we scored a winning goal. However, it was disallowed. But in the 94th minute, we had a throw-in. We exchanged a couple of passes on the left side and sent the ball to Mateusz Izmaiłowicz, who scored a winning goal with the last kick of the game. Another huge win. But we're not stopping here. Legia is a part of the chasing pack after they themselves won the league last season. However, we wanted to join them on a hunt. Nikola Medojevich gave us a dream start from a corner. However, Adnan Tahirovic equalized very quickly, and I must say that was pretty much it in this game. We got 7 points in these 3 matches. We may have stayed on 9th, but I want to point out our distance to European places. It's only 2 points now. A secure win against Cracovia and a comeback victory against Pogoń Szczecin were the exact 2 matches that made me believe not only were we in European places right now, but the title charge became real. We were on it, as well as 8 other teams. Yes, the Ekstraklasa is this unpredictable, but everything was going our way. Already relegated Polonia Warsaw was dismantled 5-0, and mid-table Wisła Kraków was a 1-0 win. Thanks to Tomasz Sokol's solo run, our chances to win the league were getting only larger and larger, especially when Lech Poznań sensationally lost to Polonia Warszawa, and Śląsk Wrocław got a win against Jagiellonia Białystok. We just need to keep winning and wait for the results elsewhere. The next opponent was Lechia Gdańsk, who had the ambition to qualify for Europe themselves, and it probably is a deciding game. Krzyżanowski can make a cross, passes back to Smektała. Rejczyk drives into the area. Płowucha makes a save. Majchrowicz. Krzyżanowski makes a cross, and it's being saved by the keeper. And it unfortunately goes in. Bogdan Kostic from Serbia scores for a 1-0. Rejczyk. Good vision. Malec can win possession. Square it. Soku. It's an equalizer, and it counts. As Lechia clear it, Smektała gets possession in the final third. Jamroszczyk on the left. Mena makes a cross to Izmaiłowicz, hit step crossbar. That was so close, genuinely. Looks like he passes it to Rejczyk. Rejczyk enters the area. Smektała. Don't think it was offside, to be fair. Soku. Mena. Płowucha. Płowucha, long shot, blocked. Jamroszczyk to Toncar. Mena makes his noise on the wing. Płowucha scores for 2-1. Malec passes back to Płowucha so he can make a cross. Or pass it back to Malec. Malec from 16 yards out for Koczor. And that was truly a strike. Hits the crossbar. I don't know how Lukic has caught that. Koczor on the right. And Meireles makes an equalizer. We're out at this point. Koczor gets past. Lukic makes a brilliant save. Duszewski with a corner. Sokół clears it. Meireles, Duszewski. Just win this, Jamroszczyk. Good one. And it stands. I mean, I'm not even mad. It was too good to be true. If we won the title from this far behind. But that's it in terms of the title fight, most likely. But if we win against Jagiellonia and if we win against Odra Opole, who are already relegated, we most likely won't win the league anyway. And against Odra Opole, we won. We won 6-1. However, Europe was still not guaranteed. The good news is, Jagiellonia won the Polish Cup in extra time against Cracovia, which will make the 4th place qualify for Europe. The bad news is, Jagiellonia are our opponents and they have a league title at stake. Krzyżanowski. Kadir 7, and it's an own goal. We finished this season, I must say. If we didn't lose against Lechia Gdańsk, if we won that game, we would be champions. In this insane season, we were only one victory away from clinching the league title. Against all odds, from 15th during the winter break. One bottle less, and we would get it. But I know I am invested in winning the league with Ruch. In the second season, it's more than possible, as long as our second season starts better than the first one. This, however, calls us to rebuild the squad, but not as much as during the last summer. We have just over 2 million in the transfer budget. But will we even use it? We will, because we spent $500,000 to permanently sign Mirosław Jamroszczyk from Legia. We then replaced Kadir 7, who went to Racing Santander for 1.4 million, with Andrzej Kowalczyk from Lech Poznań for 235k. In the past, Krasimir Borysow won the Bulgarian league with us in Botev Plovdiv. However, now Botev released him, and it was a great chance to reunite. He will have a competition in Razvan Dumitru, who I brought from Universitatea Cluj for 2 million, mainly due to his talent. We also let go Christian Ceballos to USL Dunkirk in France, Kamil Wiśniewski to Widzew Łódź, and Jan Mena on loan to Alianza Petrolera in Colombia. This was some movement during the transfer window, I must say. And would it lead to a good start in the league? Sort of. We of course did not prevent us from bottling a couple of games, most notably against Raków. Again, but we also got huge wins in the derby against Górnik or versus cup winners Jagiellonia. This places us on 6th at the start of the season, and things are going far better than last year. But now, it's time for the competition that truly matters. We're starting with Olimpia Ljubljana in the second qualifying round, runners-up of the Slovenian league. Can go through the left side, maybe cross from there, and Izmailovic hits the crossbar, but Medajevic makes a rebound. Albors goes all the way to the wing, just to make a cross. Medajevic, well, with a knee or something. Decent cross. Rejczyk makes it a third. Rejczyk now with a cross to Daniel Malec. After a goal, he gives an assist. And that rounds up our first leg of the second qualifying round. The first leg made this tie very clear, and we wouldn't bottle it. On the wing, makes a good cross to Izmailovic. He makes it 1-0, and in the 92nd minute, at least, we get a victory. And that's it, we're in the third qualifying round. This is a very good start. However, the opponents in the third round will probably a tiny little bit... It's Feyenoord. Might as well just make memories with no expectations. But the sensation was around in the air above Śląski Stadium today. Krzyżanowski on the left makes a cross to Soku, just over the bar. This time he's on the left. Makes a cross, much better one. And Malec now to Rejczyk. Out wide, and I think Izmailovic was offside. He's not, and we're leading against Feyenoord. Last-ditch effort to make it 2-0. Gajda. Good cross, can Powucha win it? He does! It's 2-0 against Feyenoord. What are we watching? These are absolute scenes. We've won 2-0. We're in a brilliant position ahead of the return leg. What a win that was. But I'm pretty sure this was just a singular sensation, and things are about to return to normal. Kelmej Malec doesn't win it. Paulinho on a 1v1. Now we have a free kick. Krzyżanowski, good cross. Bonk hits the crossbar as well. And we just made history. We eliminated Feyenoord out of European qualification. A huge upset happened, and I still don't understand how. Farul Constantia from Romania seems to be a bit more of an opponent within our reach. To it, Rejczyk with possession again, Albors. He somehow makes it 1-0. Izmailovic loses the header, but Dumitru in the penalty box. Krzyżanowski wins possession back, drives all the way to the penalty area, just to rotate himself somehow, and he wins possession. He scores a goal. Calvo, and the breakthrough is coming. Mbuku. Legiański, Hodża. And that's 2-2. That's 2-all. Poncar, Izmailovic. To the right side, Malec. Albors, brilliant couple of passes. And with 6 minutes of stoppage time, we've got Kowalik on the corner. Daniel Malec, 4-2. It looks like we are going to have a massive advantage in the second leg, but nothing is certain so far. I say it's a great first step towards the league stage. But let's just say you're not prepared for the second one. We're literally 90 minutes away from reaching European League stage, and it's getting even closer. Medojevic can cross it for a tap-in. Keep possession, and that's a good job. Albors on the right will speed the pace up. Adamski makes it free. And yeah, that's the final substitution we can make. Faru scores. I mean, Lukic could have done a little bit better. Mitru all the way in the penalty area. Adamski makes it 4-1 from the bench today. Albors. Good pass to Borisov. Jagieła. I think he was offside. Let him score first and see. He's not offside, because I can see the fifth goal popping up here. 9-3 is the result that gives us the Conference League stage at the end. What a run already it is. At least they will get Bartosz Kowalik for 325k. And as a reward for delivering a couple of sensations, our fixture list is tough. We're visible favorites only against Tirana. Any other match, we're underdogs, maybe equals. But before we continue the European tour, let's return to the Polish football universe. The first half of the year was going pretty well, but it wasn't ideal. We were winning most of the games, and the duo of Nikola Medojevic and Mateusz Izmajłowicz was on fire, scoring plenty of goals and assisting a lot. Of course, there were battles on the way, like Wisła Kraków making a comeback victory, Korona Kielce salvaging a draw, or Śląsk Wrocław having Daniel Świderski, who scored a hat-trick. In that particular game, we only saved the draw in the 94th minute against one of the title contenders. Raków Częstochowa is in the lead, but we're only 5 points behind, sitting in 4th in another weird and competitive Ekstraklasa season. But let's be honest, there are two competitions we're playing in, not 3 because second tier Warta Poznań knocked us out of the Polish Cup, and both are equally important. This is the first time Ruch is playing in a European group/league stage ever. And yes, I know they reached the Champions League quarters in 1975. The first opponent? Malmö, the winners of the Swedish Cup. And honestly, I was stunned by our performance, in a positive way. We probably played the best match in this club. We absolutely demolished the Swedish side 6-1, making it a perfect league stage start. But Olympiacos was a bit of a harder challenge. Bąk passes the ball to Smekta because we've won it quickly. Sokol finds Medojevic on the left. Something to this game. Well, it definitely adds Olympiacos' goal. Have a free kick, and Rejczyk hits the crossbar. Malec passes to Bąk. Sokół, some chaos in the penalty area. Nosze might deliver a cross, and Nielsen Modebe makes it 2-1. Borisov finds Albors. Don't think it was offside. Ramon. And I think Bogendei makes it 3. Predictable result. Though XG wasn't that bad at all. I think we could have scored the consolation here easily. On the other hand, Tirana, the champions of Albania, were no match for us. Yes, we started slowly, with a single goal in the first half, but in the second, we closed the game off and secured our win. The next opponent was Las Palmas from Spain, and as far as I'm aware, the Spanish La Liga is a top 5 league. You get the level of this challenge already. Medojevic to Płowucha, who wins possession from Edu Sanchez. In the penalty area, hits the post. Libich. Izmajłowicz. Borisov can make a long shot. 0-0 draw. If you ask me, knockouts are pretty certain. This is a huge result for us. And we can guarantee our slot in the knockouts as long as we win against Aberdeen. Good cross, but we clear it. And at the end of the day, it goes in. Płowucha again, this time much more forward. To Rejczyk, brilliant strike for an equalizer, 1-1. Makes a weird cross to Albors, but Albors heads it to Tontar. Albors finds Dumitru. Rashvan gets back to Albors. Pavic, Rogers, because our left back went way too high. MacLeod makes an equalizer. Smektawa wins the header, but doesn't win possession. Barclay. Rogers. I'm just saying this ends in a loss. Looks like we're ending it with a loss. 7 points are usually enough to progress to the knockout stages, and it's unlikely we will salvage anything against the hardest opponent of this league stage, Wolfsburg. But the first half was incredibly cagey, with exactly 0 highlights. And the second, we're near Wolfsburg area, and we win possession. Tontar passes to Fermin Albors. Sokół gets into the box, scores for 1-0 against Wolfsburg. Dumitru can open up the space on the wing. Medojevic makes it 2. Looks like Wolfsburg wants to be onto something here. Pisili makes a header. I think it was offside, though it wasn't. Medojevic on the wing. Drives into the penalty area, makes it a double. Ranks, found himself in a 1v1. Had to score it. And that's it. We're in the Conference League knockout stages for the 3rd time in this save. How do I say it? We're making history again. In the knockout playoff, our opponent will be Tromsø from Norway. We'll come back to this topic soon, because the Conference League run is not the only part of our story here in Silesia. The winter transfer window didn't see much action though. Jan Mena returned from loan in Colombia. We got ourselves a new keeper, Szymon Szczasny from Trinec on a free. We also signed the youngster Rafał Skwierczyński from Polonia Warszawa for 400k, mainly to replace Krasimir Borisov, who went to Dynamo Bucharest on a loan. Another young player we signed is Paweł Horvat, mainly because Śląsk Wrocław gave him a ridiculously low release fee clause of 450,000. And with the youngsters coming in, the league was going slightly better. We got precious victories in the derby against Górnik Zabrze, against the title rivals Raków Częstochowa or Legia Warsaw, but we still did not take the lead off the table. Drawing against relegation candidates is not helpful at all, and a draw is something we don't want in Europe too. Now we're going again to the wing, and it looks like Tromsø is launching another counter. They're very good at this, it looks like, because it results in a second goal. We have a chance from a free kick. And he almost puts it in the net. That was a crossbar. That was a very good attempt though. Smektała to Malec. Maybe something now. Płowucha. Tu Skwierczyński. He instantly scores. Adamski. Think Medojevic was offside though. So even if we score a goal. No, it's not offside. Skwierczyński makes it a brace. But Terkelsen now scores. I mean, we lost the first leg, but what truly matters is the fact we went from 2-0 to a 3-2. And that is a definite improvement compared to what would have been after the first half. Skwierczyński saves us, pretty much. And in the second leg, we have a crucial advantage. It's not that cold here in Poland. Medojevic from a free kick. Makes a good shot. Krzyżanowski now from a corner. And that's a redemption and a half for a tragic first leg for him, who makes a cross to the shirt post. Malec! Can we make it a 2-0? It looks like it's a penalty. This is a chance for him, which he delivers. Something for security. Rejcek. Izmailovic. It's a double. Izmailovic does not turn. Makes a pass back. Adamski. Can he make it a brace? It is a brace for Adamski. Comeback completed. The story is still in the making. The round of 16 opponents, a Ligue 1 team, Racing Club Strasbourg. And we were aware this could be the end of our European tour. But it looks like there is chaos in the penalty area and we instantly lose a goal in the 16th minute. Makes a good pass to Malec. Can make use of it. Izmailovic think he was offside anyway. And it looks like we win possession. Rejcek to Adamski. Adamski, long shot. Fantastic one! It's an equalizer for Ruch. Waits for it. Does the cross. The ball is being cleared, but we're still on it. Adamski into the area, hits the post. Tonsar gets past the opponent. Back to Adamski. Izmailovic. I think you might have seen the lag, but it doesn't matter. Because Izmailovic scored a leading goal. And at the end of the day, 50% done. Let's finish this task in France. Before the return leg, we got some huge news. Strasbourg's manager, Alberto Gilardino, took the job in FSV Mainz and left the French side managerless. That can be a huge blow for Strasbourg's chances. Rejcek sends a brilliant ball to Medojevic. Just pass it to the right, just pass it to the right. Albos, square it. Yes, it's in. It's 3-1 in the aggregate. Rejcek, this time he goes on the wing all by himself to make a cross, potentially. He does make a cross. Izmailovic to a header. 4-1. It's Medojevic who's going to take it. He makes it free. He makes it free. Płowucha on the right wing. Fantastic dribble. Izmailovic, Płowucha, I think he wasn't offside. It's 4-0 against Strasbourg. Another upset was completed. And it wasn't an upset. It was a thrashing. I genuinely expected to be demolished in the first leg and maybe get a lucky win for the coefficients in the second. But now, I'm wondering, can we win it all? Well, that definitely will be a challenge. Since in the quarters, our opponents will be... Are you real? Are you real? I thought this is the first real chance to maybe even win it. No, we must get Brighton. We must get Brighton from the Premier League. Because why not? There's one more task in hand. We still have to win the league. And the first step towards the championship is a fairly dramatic win against Wisła Kraków, who will go down after this season. Raków lost a very important game to Pogoń Szczecin, and we took the lead in the standings, which we kept after Lech Poznań arrived at the Silesian Stadium and saw Vlastimir Toncar blasting a shot into the top bins. This meant our biggest title rivals right now are Pogoń Szczecin, also our next opponents. The Pride of Pomerania wouldn't have an easy time at their home. It was a rather comfortable 4-1 win, in which we converted our chances like champions should. The title charge was truly on. Well, not quite when Cracovia got a draw against us. But we're about to hear more huge news. GKS Tychy thrashed Raków Częstochowa 4-0. It was a huge blow for Rakow's chances, which we couldn't really take advantage of. Stal Mielec took the lead after a counter. Thankfully, we are also great at counter-attacking. Tomasz Sokol and Rafał Skwierczyński both scored similar goals, which helped us win the game and retain the lead. However, our friends at Widzew didn't want to help, and the referee also wanted to have a say in that. This man did not give us a penalty and gave Widzew a dubious one in the space of 60 seconds. This means it might go to the final match day. The only way to prevent it is to take a win against GKS Tychy, and it was an equal game, with both sides not being able to convert their few chances. But in the 92nd minute, history happened. Almost like in real life, a single goal against GKS Tychy gave the club everything. In 2023, it was a historic return to the top flight, and in 2034, it was a league title. We won the Polish league with one game to spare for the first time in 45 years. There was no trophy left just yet, but I knew the title was certain. Lech was only 3 points behind us, and it should be a title decider. But the league rules say that in case of points being level, the head-to-head record matters, and we had a better one against Lech. The trophy left would be a thing after the final game of the season against already relegated Motor Lublin. We had to win 5-1, with most goals being scored nearing the final whistle, after which we finally lifted the trophy above our heads and celebrated the 15th league title. This was a fantastic adventure. We joined the team with a massive fan base, jumping between first and second tiers of the Polish game, and we were extremely close from clinching the league title in the first season, almost completing the greatest comeback in football history. But what we couldn't get in the first year, we got in the second. I want to single out a duo of heroes in this journey: Mateusz Izmajowicz and Nikola Medojewicz, who both scored plenty of goals and were saving us all by themselves multiple times. However, in the Ultimate Glory Hunter Challenge, we cannot stay in one league for too long. It's pointless to stay in Poland because we've already won what we are supposed to win. So it's time to resign and look for a new club. There is definitely nothing I forgot about before packing my bags. As he gets past Krzęciesa, who might as well cause a penalty, as João Pedro steps up, but doesn't score it! Now Rick, on the right side of the pitch, passes to Roman Hervé, who puts his shot over the target. Facundo Buonanotte from a free kick, but Lukic tips it over. Buonanotte. But João Pedro scores a goal, although it will not stand. Just look at the bottom left, it's offside. Cuts inside to Buonanotte, and don't tell me this is a second pen. The ref awards another pen. At least no card to Kowalczyk. Will now Lukic save? He will not. Means something positive for us. Libich gets past the opponent. Brilliant shot. We're starting with a 1-0 loss in Brighton. This still is the best result we could have gotten. He can score a goal from this position. He does not. Lukic makes a save. The new highlight is on already. Thorsen. Just press him. Just press him. This was brilliant. Rejczyk is an empty net almost. Hits the post. Alaba Adamski wins it again. Smektała in the middle of the pitch to Dumitru. Medojewicz on the left. Curling effort. And after a deflection from Izmajowicz, it goes in and it will stand. On the wing, passing it with Rick, but Dumitru almost wins it back. Rick, Ferguson think he was offside anyway. But we're not in the ideal position because this still brings extra time. Buonanotte in front of the area. But it looks like Brighton with a highlight. Molina. Buonanotte. Just over the crossbar. That was close from ending the game. This is it. In terms of the Conference League. But I must say, this run was an absolute cinema anyway. We got past Strasbourg, we got past Feyenoord, we won against Wolfsburg. That was very close anyway. And this is the definitive end to our stint in Ruch. And the question is, where are we going next? Out of the clubs looking for a manager, I think the most interesting teams are Domžale from Slovenia and Göteborg from Sweden. But that's the question for the next episode. If you enjoyed this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I will be very grateful for that. And if you want to keep the binge going, I'll actually give you 2 videos to choose. If you want to learn more about Polish football in general, check out the video on the left. And if you want to learn more about Ruch's incredible fall and rise, check out the video on the right.